We all remember our first time. Maybe you had some idea about what you were doing, or maybe you came across it by accident. Chances are you probably felt like you had just made a massive discovery. Does this happen to everyone? Is this normal? Do people know about this? I'm talking about masturbation. Whether you've got a meat to beat or a bean to flick, masturbation is a healthy and wonderful part of everyone's sex life. But how do you know that you've gone too far? Could you be masturbating too much? Could your masturbation habits be ruining your sex life? Now, we all have different sex drives and sexual needs, but there are some telltale signs that point to masturbation becoming a problem. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether you need to reassess your masturbation habits, and if so, where to start. Masturbation addiction is a real thing, and it can have a seriously negative impact on your relationship to yourself, others, and sex in general. Now, it is totally normal to get a little carried away in our teenage years. Sneaking off after dinner to jerk off to the poster in your bedroom is literally a rite of passage. So while tossing yourself off in excess is actually sort of a normal part of growing up, it is important to develop a healthy relationship with masturbation as we get older. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 signs that you are masturbating too much. And if any of these signs describe you, I highly recommend that you seek the help of a sex coach like me. You can apply in the description below, or that you see another sex professional like a therapist. And if they do describe you, make sure to stick around until the end, because I'm going to give you a few tips to get you started. Let's go ahead and dive in. Number 1 sign, emotional. How does busting a load make you feel? This is a great place to start when breaking down your relationship to self-pleasure. If you give yourself a tug and are left feeling satisfied and happy, then you are on the right track. But if you're feeling guilt or shame or down on yourself after masturbation, then there's something to explore there. It means that deep down inside, you have a negative relationship to the sex that you're having with yourself. And when you feel those emotions, it may be tempting to brush them off and move on to the next thing. But instead, try sitting with them. It's uncomfortable for sure, but it's worthwhile to understand what's actually going on underneath the surface. Feel your emotions with a sense of curiosity. Know that they will pass. Everything will pass. This feeling of guilt or shame or whatever, it's going to pass. And because you know it's going to pass, you have the freedom to take a deep look at it and ask yourself, where is this coming from? What is causing this for me? Is it the material that I'm masturbating to? I feel shame that I'm watching this thing in particular, or is it just that I have been taught that masturbation is wrong and therefore I have a deep sense of shame that I'm doing it at all? This exploration is going to be super helpful in figuring out how to have a healthy relationship to your masturbation practice. Number 2, mental. Focus, people. If you are at work, at the grocery store, at your cousin's birthday party, and all you can think about is rushing away to rub one out, then, my friend, you may have a problem. Anytime your thoughts about masturbation become intrusive, it's a good sign that you should be reevaluating your self-love repertoire. And it's also a good time to ask yourself why you're masturbating. Masturbation is a great tool to get in tune with your body, learn about what you like sexually. It can even be a really effective practice for getting better at partnered sex. And if you're not sure about that, check out my whole masterclass, Come When You Want, on premature ejaculation for proof. I basically use masturbation to fix coming too soon. But if you are masturbating as a form of stress release, or you feel a compulsive urge to bang one out, then you might actually have an unhealthy dependency on it. Masturbation should be fun and associated with pleasure and choice and freedom. The second that it gets stuck and it feels like it's no longer a choice and you can't stop thinking about it, it's a good sign that you're not on track. Number 3, physical. Excessive masturbation could be literally draining you of your life force. If masturbation is taking up a lot of your time and energy, you bet your ass that you're gonna feel that in your body. Orgasms take it out of you. Yes, they are amazing, but if you're having too many of them, you're probably gonna end up feeling beat. Pun definitely intended. There are a lot of benefits to semen retention. In a nutshell, they include more confidence, more self-control, less anxiety and depression, increased motivation, and maybe even better memory and concentration. So if you're feeling exhausted or like you can't focus, it might be because you're giving yourself a yank a little bit too often. Not to mention, excessive masturbation can literally leave your genitals sore, and raw. So if your dick is feeling irritated, for the love of God, give him a break. There's only so much of a beating that a phallus can take, and you have to know your limits. And if you're interested in learning more about semen retention, check out my video on the subject after this one. Number 4, financial. Newsflash. If you are breaking the bank in order to wank, you've got a problem. If you're spending more than you realistically can afford on pornography or other masturbation-related expenses like sex phone lines, it's a clear sign that you are not in control. Go through your bank statements and tally it all up. Take a serious look at that final number and decide for yourself if you feel this is appropriate. If you even have a twinge of guilt at the sum, you should probably take a step back and examine your relationship to self-pleasure. Besides being financially irresponsible, if you're spending more than you really want on erotic aids, it'll definitely start to breed that sense of shame and guilt inside of you. And there is no room for shame when it comes to self-pleasure. Number 5, how your masturbation habits are affecting you socially. Are you turning down opportunities and missing out on spending time with people in favor of staying home and jerking off? Do you want to find a sexual partner, but you don't have the energy or the motivation to actually do something about it? Or have you basically stopped pursuing sex with your girlfriend or your wife because you are satisfying yourself so much that you don't even need her anymore? Well, your self-pleasuring habits may have a lot to do with why. Your masturbation habits may be the thing that is actually stopping you from finding or pursuing the woman of your dreams. Jerking off too much may be what's in the way of the fantastic, colorful, fulfilling sex life that you really want. I mean, think about it. If you're constantly playing your own horn, blowing your own load, chances are that you are not going to have it in you, or even to have the desire or the fire within you to pursue a relationship with another person. You have to have a sense of sexual energy and tension and desire to build that connection with another person. And if your sexual energy is being blown into tissues and socks, there will not be enough to go around when you are actually with the woman who you desire. You might even be feeling like you don't really care about having sex with other people. If you are excessively masturbating, you might feel like you just have yourself covered. The thing is though, sex is about so much more than just blowing your load. It is an amazing opportunity to give and receive pleasure, to connect with another person and with yourself. And if you're masturbating to the point of losing interest in actual sex, I guarantee that's gonna come back to bite you in the ass sooner or later. Whether or not you like it, excessive masturbation is a surefire way to destroy your confidence, your self-esteem, and even your social skills. I hate to put it so bluntly, but I'm a coach, not your friend. I'm here to give you the honest truth. And if you want me to be your coach, apply in the description below. I help men deal with this stuff all day, every day. All right, now that we're here, how to stop. If you have watched this video and you have identified one or more of these signs is an issue for you, fear not, do not panic. There are plenty of ways to work towards finding a healthy balance. No matter how much you're currently masturbating, you absolutely have it in you to become your best, most empowered sexual self. The incredible sex life of your dreams is actually within reach, I promise you. And the first step to getting there is easy. It begins with tapering off. Start slowly reducing the frequency that you masturbate. Finding a replacement activity is actually crucial if you struggle with excessive masturbation. You have to replace that time and that energy with something else. So you can get out some of that energy by going for a walk, dancing in your living room, doing something physically or mentally stimulating like a workout. Sometimes it's just enough to leave your room or any of the things that trigger the thoughts of masturbation, like your computer, your tissues, your lotion, etc. This will help you to decrease the urge. Number 2, have an accountability partner. It's okay to ask for help. I know men who have had great success with an accountability partner, just someone that you trust. You don't have to even tell them what you're trying to stop doing. You can just tell them that there's something that you're working on and you want them to help hold you accountable. Tell them that you'll pay them $10 every time you break your word, or write a sizable check to a cause you hate, like the Baby Seal Clubbers Association, and then tell them to send that check in if you break your commitment. That extra motivation might just be what you need. Number 3, censor yourself. If it gets really bad, especially with porn, you may want to enforce some restrictions on your credit cards or on your computer. I've heard from dozens of men that this is what they ended up doing to break their porn addiction. Cancel your porn subscriptions. In intense cases, you might even need to cancel the credit card that you have connected to porn sites. It can have a negative effect on your credit, so try canceling with the porn sites first. If this sounds extreme, it is extreme. But so is a habit that has you relying on porn. You can also put parental restrictions on your internet. If you don't trust yourself, have your friend create the passwords and then promise not to tell you. These are designed to block out adult sites, and so you won't even be able to get to porn. And remember to put a restriction on your cell phone as well. The bottom line is, no matter how severe your problem is, you have options. You have it within you to make a change. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to this channel because I want to help you on your journey. So whether it's reshaping and improving your relationship to masturbation or just generally leveling up towards the best, most authentic, and incredible version of your sexual self there is, I am here to support you in reaching your goals. I'm Caitlin V, your sex and relationship coach, and I will see you here next time. Bye.